Have you ever wished you could wake up feeling an unshakable calm, knowing you have the inner strength to handle whatever the day throws at you? Imagine for a moment what it would be like to have a clear, focused mind, free from the constant anxiety and the feeling of always being one step behind, feeling genuinely in control of your own peace. But in reality, most of us feel trapped by a cycle of stress, endless obligations, and a mental clutter that never seems to end. This not only leaves us completely exhausted at the end of each day, but it also makes us feel like strangers to ourselves, looking in the mirror and wondering when we stop taking care of who we really are. But what if I told you there is a time-tested philosophy that can change this game? An ancient wisdom that emperors, statesmen, and freed slaves like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus used to forge an unshakable inner strength amidst wars, plagues, and the chaos of the ancient world. In this video, I will guide you through the 5 essential Stoic micro-habits to reinvent who you are from the inside out. By the end, you won't just know how to break the cycle of stress and burnout, but you will feel empowered, calm, and authentically in command of your own mind. So, if you are truly ready to stop just surviving and start reclaiming your inner power, commit to it right now. Like this video to signal your intention. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single step of this journey, and share it with someone you know needs to hear this message. And so I know you're all in, comment "I am ready" down below. Now do not skip a single second. The journey to becoming unrecognizable to your former self begins now. Habit 1. The 2-minute morning mind sweep. Taming the inner tempest. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The alarm blares. 6:15 a.m. Before your eyes are even fully open, the invasion begins. It's a silent, internal blitzkrieg. A wave of thoughts crashes into your consciousness, each one vying for immediate panicked attention. The presentation at 10 a.m. I haven't rehearsed enough. What if they ask a question I can't answer? Then there's that weird noise the car was making yesterday. That's going to be an expensive repair, isn't it? I forgot to call my mom back. She's going to be upset. Did I remember to pay the credit card bill? What are we even having for dinner tonight? And why did I say that? Stupid thing at the party 3 years ago? This is the default human condition in the 21st century. Your mind wakes up cluttered, chaotic, and already in a state of low-grade fight or flight. And what is our collective conditioned response? We reach for the great pacifier, our phone. We hope that a quick scroll through social media, a glance at the news, or clearing out our email inbox will somehow bring order to the chaos. Spoiler alert, it's like trying to put out a fire by dousing it with gasoline. You are not organizing your thoughts, you are adding thousands of new ones. You are inviting the opinions, anxieties, and curated highlight reels of the entire world into your mind before you've even had a chance to check in with yourself. You are starting your day as a passenger in your own life. The first micro-habit is your anchor. It is the act of claiming the first 120 seconds of your day as your own. It is what I call the 2-minute morning mind sweep. Before your feet touch the floor, before you check a single notification, before the world has a chance to tell you who you should be and what you should worry about, you will simply sit on the edge of your bed and observe. This is not meditation in the formal sense. There is no goal of emptying your mind or achieving a state of transcendent bliss. The goal is far simpler and more profound: to see what is already there. The practice, in detail. Sit down. Just sit on the edge of your bed. Your feet can be flat on the floor. Let your hands rest comfortably on your knees. Your back can be straight but not rigid. Set a timer. Use a simple non-phone timer if you can, or set your phone's timer for 2 minutes and place it face down. Breathe and observe. Close your eyes, or if that's uncomfortable, just let your gaze soften and rest on a spot on the floor a few feet in front of you. Now, do nothing. Your only job is to become a curious, non-judgmental observer of your own mind. Label the clouds. Imagine your mind is a vast, open sky. Your thoughts, feelings, and sensations are simply clouds drifting through. Your job is not to stop the clouds, change them, or judge them for being stormy or wispy. It is simply to notice them and, if you like, give them a gentle, neutral label. There is the work presentation cloud. There is the worry about money cloud. There is a cloud of excitement for the weekend. There is the song stuck in my head cloud. There is a physical sensation of tightness in my chest. That's it. For 2 minutes, you just watch the parade. You will get distracted. Your mind will latch onto a thought and you'll follow it down a rabbit hole. This is not a failure. This is the practice. The moment you realize you've been swept away, you have succeeded. You simply, gently, and without any self-criticism, return your attention to just watching the sky. The Stoics called this practice prosoch, a state of continuous, vigilant attention to your inner world. Epictetus taught that our suffering comes not from events, but from our judgments about those events. This morning's sweep is your training ground for separating the two. You learn to see the difference between the thought, I have a presentation today, and the judgment, I am going to fail my presentation and everyone will think I'm an idiot. You see that the first is a neutral fact. The second is a story you are telling yourself. Within a week of this simple practice, something incredible begins to happen. You develop what is known as metacognition, the ability to think about your thinking. You start to see the patterns. Wow, on Monday mornings, my mind is always a storm of work anxiety. On Fridays, it's much calmer. When I don't sleep well, my thoughts are much more negative. This isn't about solving these problems in the moment. It's about gathering intelligence. You are becoming a masterful strategist of your own mind. By week 4, the benefits will spill out into the rest of your day. When a coworker makes a passive-aggressive comment, you'll notice a tiny space open up between their words and your habitual angry reaction. In that space, you have a choice. When you feel a wave of anxiety in the middle of the afternoon, you'll recognize it as just another thought cloud passing through, rather than an objective truth about your reality. You'll find you have more patience, more clarity, and a quiet, solid center that doesn't get rattled by the daily storms. You are building your inner citadel one stone at a time, and it all starts with just 2 minutes of quiet observation. Habit 2, the gratitude archaeology. Dig, finding treasure in the ordinary. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. Let's talk about gratitude. It has become a wellness buzzword, often presented as a simple panacea for all that ails us. We're told to keep gratitude journals, to list 3 things we're grateful for before bed. And for a while, it can feel good. I'm grateful for my family, my health, my home, but soon the practice can become rote, a mechanical recitation of the obvious. It's like eating the same bland meal every day. It provides sustenance, but it loses its flavor, its richness, its power to truly nourish. Your brain, an efficiency machine, starts to tune it out. The words lose their meaning. The problem with this surface-level gratitude is that it doesn't train your perception. The second Stoic micro-habit is designed to do exactly that. It's not about just listing what you have. It's about actively rewiring your brain to see the good that you normally miss. I call it the gratitude archaeology dig. The principle is simple. Instead of looking for the big, obvious monuments of your life to be grateful for, you're going to become an archaeologist, carefully sifting through the soil of your ordinary day to find the small, hidden artifacts of goodness. The practice in detail. Choose a moment. At any point in your day, while you're in line for lunch, walking to your car, or brushing your teeth, you will pause, hunt for one micro-good. Your mission is to find one small, specific, positive thing that has happened that would normally go completely unnoticed. It cannot be big. The smaller and more mundane, the better. Examples: the taste of that first sip of coffee, the fact that the traffic light turned green just as you approached it, a stranger holding the door for you, the way the sun felt on your skin for 3 seconds when you walked outside, the fact that your pen didn't run out of ink mid-sentence, the simple, miraculous fact that when you turned the tap, clean water came out. Become an investigator. Now, here is where the archaeology begins. You don't just notice the artifact, you excavate its story. You ask, what had to happen for this tiny good thing to exist? You trace its origins. This is the key that unlocks profound wonder. Let's take the example of the stranger holding the door. Surface-level gratitude would be, I'm grateful that person held the door. An archaeological dig goes deeper. Wait a minute, that person was in a hurry, but they made a conscious choice to pause their life for a moment for me, a complete stranger. That required a moment of awareness and a small act of generosity. Where did they learn that? Maybe their parents taught them to be courteous. Someone, somewhere, instilled that value in them. And what about the door itself? Someone had to design this. A door with its hinges and handle. Someone else had to manufacture it from metal and wood that was harvested from the earth. A team of people had to construct this building, installing that very door. My ability to walk through that door is powered by the food I ate this morning, which was grown by farmers, transported by truck drivers, and sold by grocery store clerks. My simple act of walking through a door held open by a stranger is the culmination of a vast, invisible web of human cooperation, ingenuity, and effort stretching across time and space. Do you feel the shift? That one tiny 2-second event is no longer mundane. It is a miracle of interconnection. You have transformed a simple moment into a profound experience of wonder and awe. The Stoics called this the discipline of perception. They trained themselves to look at any event and see it for what it truly was, stripped of their own negative filters and assumptions. Our brains have a built-in negativity bias, an evolutionary hangover from when we had to be constantly vigilant for threats. We are biologically programmed to notice the one thing that went wrong over the 99 things that went right. The gratitude archaeology dig is the active, conscious counter-programming to this bias. Neuroscientists call this experience-dependent neuroplasticity. In plain English, your experiences physically change your brain. When you consistently practice this deep, investigative gratitude, you are literally strengthening the neural pathways associated with appreciation, wonder, and contentment. You are building a positivity muscle in your brain. After a few weeks of this, you won't have to hunt for these moments anymore. They will start to jump out at you. Your brain, now retrained, will become a magnet for moments of beauty, connection, and grace that were always there, but were previously invisible to your untrained perception. The world will start to look like a more fundamentally generous and beautiful place. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. This practice transforms your relationships. You start noticing the 1,000 tiny ways your partner, your friends, and your colleagues show you care instead of focusing on their occasional flaws. You become someone who sees and acknowledges the good in others, and that makes you a person people want to be around. You radiate a quiet confidence that comes from knowing that even on the hardest days, your life is woven through with tiny resilient threads of grace. Habit 3, the energy audit moment, plugging the leaks in your life force. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Think of your personal energy, your focus, your willpower, your emotional capacity as the battery on your smartphone. At the beginning of the day, it's at 100%. Now think about all the things that drain that battery. Some are obvious. A big project at work, a difficult conversation, an intense workout. These are like using GPS navigation. They use a lot of power for a valuable purpose. But what about the hidden drains? What about the apps running in the background, silently sucking your battery dry without you even knowing it? That unresolved argument from last week that you keep replaying in your head. The habit of constantly checking the news and feeling a surge of outrage. The people-pleasing tendency that makes you say yes to things you don't have the capacity for. The resentment you're holding on to towards a family member. Most of us go through life with our battery constantly in the red, wondering why we're so exhausted all the time, without ever checking which apps are running in the background. We accept chronic depletion as normal. The third Stoic micro-habit is your personal energy management system. It's a simple, powerful practice for identifying and closing those background apps. It is the energy audit moment. The concept is breathtakingly simple. Once a day, ideally at a random time, you're going to pause and ask yourself a single question. Right now, in this activity, with this person, or with this thought, am I gaining energy or losing energy? The practice in detail. Set the trigger. Don't leave it to chance. Set a random alarm on your phone for some time in the afternoon, or link the habit to an existing one. Every time you wash your hands, or every time you take a sip of water, that's your trigger for the audit. Pause and scan. When the trigger occurs, stop what you are doing for just 30 seconds. Close your eyes if you can. Don't consult your logical mind, which will try to tell you how you should feel. Instead, tune into the wisdom of your body. Your body never lies. Scan your posture. Are your shoulders hunched up by your ears? Scan your jaw. Are you clenching your teeth? Scan your breathing. Is it shallow and rapid, high in your chest, or is it deep and slow, down in your belly? Scan your gut. Does your stomach feel tight and knotted, or relaxed and at ease? Your body is giving you a clear physiological readout of your energy flow. Tightness, clenching, and shallow breathing are the signatures of an energy drain. Relaxation, openness, and deep breathing are the signs of an energy gain. Act immediately, the micro-adjustment. This is the most crucial step. You must act on the information your body has given you, right in that moment. You have 3 choices, and the action you take will be tiny. Change it. If you realize you've been doom scrolling on your phone and it's making you feel tense and drained, the action is to close the app and put the phone down. Right now. Not in 5 minutes. Reframe it. If you're in a boring but necessary meeting and you feel your energy plummeting, you can't leave. But you can change your response. You can reframe it. Okay, this is draining. Instead of resisting it, what if I practice deep listening? What if my goal for the next 10 minutes is to simply practice patience? This shifts you from a passive victim to an active participant. Remove it gently. If you're in a conversation that has devolved into pointless gossip or complaining and you feel it draining you, you can gently remove yourself. It was great catching up, but I've got to get back to this task. Let's talk again soon. Epictetus's core teaching was the dichotomy of control, understanding the difference between what we can control and what we can't. This micro-habit is the ultimate application of that principle. You can't control that your boss is in a bad mood, but you can control how much of your own energy you leak in reaction to it. You can't control the traffic, but you can control whether you spend that time fuming or listening to a podcast that energizes you. This practice also teaches you to distinguish between good tired and bad tired. Good tired is the satisfying exhaustion that comes after meaningful, focused effort. A creative project playing with your kids, a deep conversation with a friend. It's an energy expenditure that leads to growth. Bad tired is the hollow, corrosive depletion that comes from situations that drain you without purpose. People-pleasing, worrying about things you can't control, engaging in pointless conflict. After a month of practicing the energy audit moment, you will develop a powerful new sense, energy intuition. You'll start to feel the potential for a drain before it happens. You'll walk into a room and instantly sense the emotional temperature. You'll find yourself naturally gravitating towards people and activities that replenish you and setting gentle but firm boundaries with those that deplete you. You will no longer be a victim of your daily energy fluctuations. You will become the conscious, deliberate steward of your own life force. Habit 4. The compassion, reset breath. Befriending your inner critic. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Attributed to Plato, Philo of Alexandria. This ancient wisdom holds a profound truth, but the Stoics would add a crucial amendment. The hardest battle you fight is often with yourself, and the person you need to be kindest to is the one staring back at you from the mirror. Let's be honest. Listen, truly listen, to the voice in your head for a day. Notice its tone when you make a simple mistake, like spilling your coffee or forgetting a name. You're such an idiot. Can't you do anything right? Everyone thinks you're a fool now. This internal narrator, this inner critic is relentless. It's a drill sergeant that would be fired from any military for cruelty. We walk around with this abusive voice in our heads 24/7 and accept it as normal. This constant barrage of self-criticism is not a motivator, it's a jailer. It keeps you small, afraid to take risks, and trapped in a cycle of shame. The fourth Stoic micro-habit is a precision tool designed to interrupt this cycle. It is a single, powerful breath that starves the inner critic of its power and begins the process of transforming that voice from an enemy into an ally. It is the compassion reset breath. The practice is triggered by the very thing it seeks to heal. The moment you notice that harsh, critical voice flaring up, that is your cue. The practice in detail. Catch the critic. You just sent an email with a typo to your boss. The internal alarm bells start ringing. You're so unprofessional, they're going to think you're careless. There it is, you've caught it. Take one conscious breath. This is not a casual, automatic breath. This is a deliberate, deep inhalation and a slow, complete exhalation. As you breathe in, you acknowledge the situation. Okay, a mistake was made. As you breathe out, you physically release the tension and the immediate wave of self-judgment. This single breath activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's built-in rest and digest system. It's a physiological off-ramp from the highway of stress. Deliver the mantra. In the quiet space created by that breath, you silently say to yourself the most powerful and truthful phrase you can muster. I am doing the best I can with the resources I have right now. Let's break down why this phrase is magic. I am doing the best I can. This acknowledges your effort. In any given moment, you are operating from your current level of skill, energy, and awareness. It's a fact. With the resources I have, this acknowledges your context. Were you tired, stressed, rushed? These aren't excuses. They are real factors that affect performance. Right now. This anchors you in the present. You may learn more and do better in the future, but in this exact moment, this was the outcome. It grounds you in reality. This is fundamentally different from empty positive affirmations. You are not saying, I am perfect, or mistakes don't matter. You are practicing radical honesty. It is a statement of compassionate truth. A common fear is that self-compassion will lead to mediocrity and a lack of motivation. If I'm not hard on myself, I'll become lazy. The Stoics and modern psychology would argue the exact opposite is true. Self-criticism is a terrible long-term motivator. It operates through fear. Fear leads to avoidance, procrastination, and a reluctance to try anything where you might fail. Self-compassion, on the other hand, creates what psychologists call psychological safety. It creates an internal environment where it's safe to try, to fail, to be imperfect, and to learn. Think about it. Are you more likely to learn a new skill from a teacher who screams at you for every mistake, or one who encourages you and says, "That's okay, let's try it again"? You are your own most important teacher. The ripple effects of this practice are staggering. As you stop attacking yourself internally, you naturally become less judgmental of others. You begin to see the people around you not as competitors or potential threats, but as fellow humans who are also doing the best they can. Your relationships deepen because you offer a space of grace and understanding that is rare and precious. Creatively and professionally, you become bolder. The fear of failure, which is really the fear of the inner critic's wrath, begins to fade. You're more willing to pitch that wild idea, apply for that promotion, or have that difficult but necessary conversation, because you know that if you stumble, you will catch yourself with kindness, not with condemnation. You are transforming your relationship with yourself from one of adversarial judgment to one of unconditional friendship. Habit 5. The daily done declaration, curing the plague of incompletion. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, review what you have done, what you have said. In this way, the soul is put at rest through the daily scrutiny. Adapted from Seneca. We live in the age of the open loop. Our lives are a cascade of unfinished tasks. The 247 emails in your inbox, the half-read books on your nightstand, the endless to-do list that only ever seems to get longer, the constant stream of notifications reminding you of all the things you haven't done, responded to, or achieved. We go to bed at night, not with a sense of satisfaction, but with the heavy, anxious weight of incompletion. Our minds race, cataloging our failures and planning tomorrow's battles. We wake up already feeling behind. It's a recipe for burnout, and it's based on a flawed premise that our worth is measured by how much we cross off a list. The final Stoic micro-habit is a powerful antidote to this modern disease. It is a ritual that redefines what a good day means. It shifts your focus from the vast ocean of what is left undone to the solid ground of what you have actually done. It is the daily done declaration, the practice in detail. Find the threshold. The moment you get into bed and your head hits the pillow is the perfect time for this ritual. It's the threshold between the day that was and the rest that will be. Set the intention. Instead of letting your mind drift to tomorrow's worries, you are going to spend exactly 2 minutes on a specific, focused review. Hunt for 3 dones. Mentally scan your day from the moment you woke up until now. Your mission is to identify 3 things you completed, handled, or moved forward, no matter how small. The key is to ignore the big, obvious things on your to-do list and look for the invisible victories. Did you make your bed? That's 1. You brought order to chaos. Did you listen patiently to a co-worker even when you were busy? That's 2. You practiced kindness. Did you drink a glass of water instead of a soda? That's 3. You made a choice for your health. Other examples. You answered a difficult text message. You held your tongue instead of saying something harsh. You put 1 dish in the dishwasher. You read 1 page of a book. You stretched for 30 seconds. You didn't react when someone cut you off in traffic. You pet your dog and were fully present for it. Acknowledge and absorb. For each done that you identify, don't just gloss over it. Pause for a moment and give yourself a nod of genuine credit. Feel the quiet satisfaction of it. Yes, I did that. That mattered. This practice is not about lowering your standards. It's about changing your metric of success. True Stoic reflection, as Seneca practiced it, is about recognition, not just criticism. It's about seeing clearly what actually happened so you can build on patterns of success. This ritual does something profound to your brain. It trains your reticular activating system, RAS, the part of your brain that acts as a filter for what you notice in the world. When you consistently look for completions at night, you start subconsciously looking for opportunities to complete things during the day. You start to see your day not as a mountain to be climbed, but as a series of small, meaningful choices you can make and complete. This practice also builds self-trust at a fundamental level. Every time you acknowledge a done, you are providing your subconscious with a piece of evidence that you are a person who shows up, who takes action, who can be counted on. This creates a powerful upward spiral of motivation. The more you recognize your accomplishments, the more capable and motivated you feel to accomplish more. The ripple effects on your life are immense. You will start sleeping better because you are going to bed with a mind that has been guided to a state of completion and self-appreciation rather than anxiety. You will wake up with more energy because you are not carrying the psychic weight of yesterday's perceived failures into the new day. And most beautifully, this practice will change how you see others. When you are in the habit of celebrating your own small victories, you naturally start noticing and celebrating them in the people around you. You become the person who says, "I noticed how kindly you handled that customer," or "Thank you for making the coffee this morning." You become a source of recognition in a world starving for it, and that makes you a remarkable friend, partner, and leader. You are teaching your nervous system one day at a time that you are enough, you do enough, and you can rest. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Let's return to that mirror. It's 6 months from now. It's 3:17 a.m. and you've woken up for a glass of water. You catch your reflection in the dim light, but this time something is different. The frantic, haunted look in your eyes is gone. In its place is a quiet calm, a settledness. You don't see a stranger, you see a friend. You see a person who has spent 180 days practicing the art of being. You have transformed, not through a violent upheaval, but through a series of quiet, consistent revolutions. Each micro-habit was a seed, and now you are standing in the shade of the tree you planted. The morning mind sweep transformed your inner chaos into a space of calm clarity. You learned to watch your thoughts without being consumed by them. The gratitude archaeology dig transformed your perception of scarcity into a rich reality of abundance. You learned to find treasure in the most ordinary of moments. The energy audit moment transformed your chronic depletion into a state of vibrant, protected vitality. You learned to be a wise steward of your own life force. The compassion reset breath transformed your harsh inner critic into a kind, supportive inner friend. You learned to treat yourself with the grace you so freely give to others. The daily done declaration transformed your anxiety of incompletion into a deep, satisfying sense of daily progress. You learned that you are enough and you do enough every single day. These 5 practices, woven together, have repatterned your mind. They have created new neural pathways. They have become your new default setting. You have not become someone new. You have simply sloughed off the layers of stress and self-judgment that were obscuring the strong, calm, and resilient person who was always there. Before you go, if this message resonated with you and you're ready to commit to this path, take a moment to solidify your intention. Like this video to acknowledge the truth you've heard today. Share it with someone you know who is fighting their own quiet battle and could use these tools. Subscribe to the channel for more practical wisdom to help you build your inner fortress, one small habit at a time. And in the comments below, I'd love to know, which of these 5 habits will you start with today? Your declaration makes it real. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You may have felt 1,000 miles from the person you want to be, but these habits are that first, simple step. They are so small they are almost impossible not to take. Your transformation does not start tomorrow or next Monday or on New Year's Day. It starts right now with your very next breath. Choose one of these habits, just one, and do it today. Then do it again tomorrow. The person you will become in 6 months, in a year, in a decade, is counting on the small choices you make right now. Don't let them down. Start small. Start now. You are ready.